All right, Coach Reese here, Bryan High School varsity assistant. Um, been practicing social distancing and trying to find ways to reach our guys. Um, we're supposed to be starting spring ball, spring workouts, spring tournaments, things like that. A lot of guys are supposed to be out practicing and going to various AAU tournaments, but obviously we we're having to practice social distancing and refrain from doing so. A lot of events have been canceled already, and so we wanted to try to find a way to reach our guys to keep them engaged and thinking about the game when they can't get into the gym. I know a lot of guys have been trying to get in the gym, but unfortunately, it's out of our control and we can't get into the gym. So this is a way that I figured out to kind of reach our guys. So this first video is going to be something that I send out to those guys, and it's going to highlight their worst play or not so good play, and then a better play after that to kind of um, emphasize our next play mentality that we have in our program. There are times throughout games where something goes wrong. Guy shoots the ball and misses, and shooters kind of get in their own heads. And I tell them next play, and we tell them next play, next play. You come down, you turn the ball over. Your teammate gets on to you, or you may be down on yourself, but you got to realize that it's about the next play. And so we always say next play. And so that's what this video is going to be about. Same thing defensively. You may get scored on. There's no need in bickering on the court about a defensive breakdown. Just get the ball inbounded and get to the next play. So it's going to be all about the next play. There are going to be some bonehead plays in here, and there are going to be some really good plays. We've got some really good players on our team. There have been times in practices where I stand across the way from Coach Hines. He stands on one sideline, and I'm typically on the other sideline, and something will happen in practice, and we kind of both look at each other and make that face. There's going to be a lot of face making, and my players know what I'm talking about. But it's about getting better. So we're going to go in numerical order here. So we're going to start with number 00, JD Smith. Yeah, that's a clip that I have pulled up right here. Here, let's put ourselves into the mind of JD Smith. This is a play that we have called 2 over. Dom right here, 13. He's one of our best shooters, probably one of the best shooters that I've ever coached. He started over here on the right wing, but he's coming off of screens. He's supposed to get all the way to the three-point line and then go back door. He's a three-point shooter. He's a threat from three-point land. And so we're trying to get him an easy bucket to kind of get him going. This guy's probably going to over-penetrate, which he does, because Dom is a really good lethal three-point shooter. And JD is a willing passer. He was second on our team in turnovers, but all trying to make plays happen. And here he tries to make a play happen that just wasn't there. So we'll see Dom not quite get to the spot, go back door. And JD, my brother, he's arguing to the official here that Dom was held. Nobody touched this guy. Nobody touched the guy. It was a bad pass, man. It was a bad pass. It was a bad pass. Dom didn't stop on a dime and go like he was supposed to. The pass was low, so even if he would have caught it, who knows what would have happened there. It was a bad pass. He wasn't held. It's a turnover. That's on you. That's not on the Zebras. There's a lot of calls that's on the Zebras. That one was not. That's on you, my brother. Not to hold on. Not to mention, you're making a on the left side of the floor, which should be a left-hand pass with your right hand. Bang. You tried to put a little English on it, and I see what you were trying to do. It just didn't happen. It's a turnover. Resulted in a turnover for the Vikes. He's crying for a foul. It's not a foul. Still crying. All right, but then we're going to go to a better play from JD right here. All right, So I always tell our kids in our program that if you don't practice the shot in practice or in any kind of other situation, don't shoot it. All right. This is senior night. This is JD. JD is a senior. This is his last game that he's ever going to play in a Viking uniform, unfortunately. And pregame, I'm watching him pregame, and he's taking 30-foot shots. I mean, he's shooting shots from the volleyball line. That's all he's shooting. So after warm ups and after they do the starting lineup, national anthem and all that, he comes up to me. He says, "Hey, I'm pulling it. First shot I get, I'm gonna pull it." And I tell him, "You better make it, because if not, you're gonna come sit." He said, "I'm pulling it." He said, "I'm walking across half court. I'm gonna pull it." So this is JD on senior night. Walks across half court, right in front of the volleyball line. Not line. Knocks it down. That was big time. Big time play from the senior. Seniors give it, and seniors take it away. All right, next play, we got Umber. Mr. Umber Christian. Umber Christian's another senior of ours. No number. Me and Umber go way back. No number since he was in kindergarten. It's been a pleasure coaching him. Here's a bonehead play of his. He pops here. JD, another senior of ours, passes it to him, and Umber passes it to nobody. Where you going with that ball, brother? Where? And the ball wasn't going to get there. The ball was in his hands for point two. It's a hot potato. My guy. The turnover by Umber. They talk about it. Subs coming to the table. Might be coming to get him, if I had to guess. But here's a great play. Here in transition, Rodney's got the ball. He passes it to Dylan right here in the corner. Dylan, very unselfishly, he could have taken this corner three, but he doesn't. Unselfishly drives it. Guy's kind of late to help. He gets there to cut it off, and we hit what we call our drift, right? What everybody in the nation calls the drift, right? Gets out of bounds, makes his pass, looking to make the drift, right? That's where the shooter was going, but Umber instinctively was standing on the right wing, and he dives to the basket, right? The drift was going to be there. Dom was coming. He's a really good shooter, right? But Dylan's got a very good basketball IQ, and he sees Umber diving, and he hits Umber on the dive. So, again, you got Rodney right here. He passes to Dylan in the corner, doesn't take the shot. Umber dives. Should have put it on his head, man. Should have put it on his head. Great, unselfish basketball. Good bucket there by senior Umber Christian. Next, we got one of my favorite players ever. Favorite player that I've ever coached, Xavier Duran. Zay. Here's a not so good play by Zay. Tries to put a move on this guy. Tries to hit him with that bang, bang, no. Cookies. And he fell. How did you fall? How did you fall? Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. How did you fall? Not his best moment. Not Zay's best moment there. All right, sometimes, right there. Sometimes we do a little bit too much, and this is not just Zay, this is everybody in our program. We do a little bit too much. Right here, he's got this guy beat. His top foot is dropped. Attack it, and especially to the middle of the floor where we want to be, attack his top foot and just go, right? Instead, we bring the ball right back to where he's at. He's able to take it and go score it, right? So sometimes we do a little bit too much. Just make one move and go, or just go. You don't even have to make a move sometimes if you're quicker than that guy. Zay's not a very quick player, very flashy player, one of my favorite players, just not the quickest. He knows that. Okay, here again, Dom is going to start right here with the ball in the corner. He's going to drive it and hit our drift, right? He hits Rodney right here, and Rodney, again, unselfishly could have shot this ball, right? But you can tell he's not ready to shoot this ball, and the defender's running out at him. So as the defender's running out at him, he hits the one more, right? The extra pass off of the drift, and Zay knocks it down. All right. So once again, back it up. Dom starts in the corner, goes to hit the drift. This guy goes to cut him off. So Dom hits the drift. He gets all the way out of bounds to hit that pass to Rodney. Rodney catches. Closeout's coming, and he quickly passes the ball, swings it for the one more. Nobody in sight. Zay knocks it down. Great basketball right there. Okay, and the clip started right here with Dom in the corner. Obviously, it didn't start that way. The possession didn't start that way. Everybody on the floor in this possession touched the ball. The ball movement was great this particular game. All right, moving right along, we got Rodney. Rodney is a junior for us. Had a really good year. He's been a part of some successful teams here in Bryan. Here, this is against Huntsville in the tournament in Magnolia. We had just seen Huntsville the week before just to open up the season, and so Rodney had 31 that game, and this big guy right here, very skilled big. Rodney just sees real estate. He comes off, takes his eyes off the ball just for a second, because this guy right here, this guarding Dom, who's getting through, turns his back to the ball, and I think Rodney notices that. Obviously, we've got JD right here running to the corner, right? So his man's going to have to vacate the paint to go to the corner, which leaves Rodney on an island, or which leaves this guy right here on an island, and Rodney can attack the middle and probably get a dunk. Right? JD's running the corner. This guy's vacating the middle. This guy has no idea where the ball is. Right? Rodney takes his eyes off the ball for a split second, and it results in a turnover. It could have been a dunk. It's a turnover. All right. Bang. But as I mentioned, Rodney, to open up the season, had 31. It was really hard to pick a clip for Rodney because he had so many good clips, as well as a lot of our other players. It was really hard to pick just one clip. But this is Rodney just kind of showing the evolution of his game. I challenged Rodney in the offseason to develop a more consistent pull-up jumper. We teach the pull-up in our program. I think, in order to be a dynamic player, you need to be able to score it in a multitude of different ways. That's getting to the cup, that's shooting the three, and that's also getting to the mid-range. I feel like if you could shoot the mid-range jumper, then it makes you almost impossible to guard. And so here's Rodney just catching the ball. Nice little jab step to get the defender going one way. Gets to the middle of the floor and then rises and just hits right over the top of the defender. Right? I tell my guys all the time, once you get to your spots and you start picking your spots, there's nothing that anybody can do to stop you. And that's exactly what happens here. He just gets to his spot, rises and hits. That was 2 of his 31 on that night, season opener. Next, we got Cam. Okay, Camden. Camden's also a junior for us. Here, Camden plays a little quarterback. He plays a little quarterback, a little tight end for our football team as well. And this wasn't necessarily a pick six, but and in Camden's defense, we've been at home for a couple of games, and we played a couple of games at home, so we were wearing white uniforms. We weren't used to wearing our grays. But Cam just throws the ball straight to the other side. I don't know what he saw here. I guess he thought Rodney was going to leak up the floor, but even if he did, there's 1, 2, 3 white jerseys there. He just throws it right into the backcourt. Yeah, that's one of those. Look at throwing across your body, quarterback. Don't do that. Rolling out right, throwing across your body results in a turnover. All right, but Cam was one of our really good. He was third on the team in 3-point shots made on the season. I believe he hit 30 of them, and they were huge. It was really big at home for us, for sure. And this 3-point shot right here is one of the 4 that he hit in the first half against Bridgeland. This is New Year's Eve. So they're in a 1-3-1 here. And so we kind of match that with our domino look. Ball up high, here's Rod, kind of mid-post, holding this guy off. It's not there. So we swing it and can ball fakes. No one goes, doesn't matter. And from about 28 feet out, he lets it fly. And like I said, this was one of his four that kind of helped give us a pretty big lead, pretty good lead going into the half. But no hesitation. He's one of the best shooters that we've had in our program since the time that he got to Bryan High. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. He let it fly, and he really hit his stride later on in the season. He got his basketball legs back and really hit his stride late in the season. And so he's going to be a big key piece for us to kind of stretch the floor for us next year as well. All right, moving on. We got Mr. Henderson. We got Pimp. All right, here, not very many people can stay in front of him in transition. Not very many people can stay in front of him in the half court. You can't stay in front of him. Your only hope is to foul him or hope that he turns it over. And in this case, he turned it over. He beats, before the clip even starts, you can see right here there are two defenders chasing. He beats these two defenders. It was a trap. And he slices to the middle of the floor just like he's supposed to. He gets the ball off of the sideline because you want to get the ball to the middle of the floor. He slices, it gets the ball to the middle of the floor, and the defender helps uphill. This is textbook. He beats the double team, gets the ball off of the sideline, slices to the middle of the floor, beats another defender, and Rodney's defender kind of steps uphill, and he just kind of loses the balance and tries to throw a lob, but it was not a lob. All right, Huddle actually counted that as an attempted shot. I'm going to count that as a turnover. But, I mean, it's perfect execution, right? He beats two. These two give up on the play. He beats this guy. So Rodney's guy is the last defender here. This guy helps off of our shooter. He probably could have kicked it to our shooter, right? But I think he had the right idea to lob this thing up toward the rim, throw it anywhere up toward this back corner of the backboard, and Rodney's going up to get that. Instead, he puts a little bit too much on it. That's a shot attempt by Huddle, and they're going the other way. But like I mentioned, there were so many clips from this guy. This guy's he's a sophomore for us. He's a high flyer. There's a lot of clips that I could choose for him because, like I said, a lot of people that we played this year had problems staying in front of him. But here, there's just a combo of moves of him just beating everybody on the team, just like he just did in the previous possession, that led to a turnover. Ball on the sideline, dribbling hard up the left side, so he goes behind his back to get to the middle of the floor to kind of see what you want to see. Here you see our shooter, right, that's running in stride with him. So he gets to his spot and then freezes the defender again. So he turns him twice, right? Turns him here, turns him there. The defender's lost. Dribbling the ball up, this is crazy. Dribbling the ball up the sideline, up the left side of the floor. Right? People aren't supposed to do this in the half court, right? Turns the defender once, turns the defender twice, and then just gets to the basket. There's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing you can do. Here we go to Dom. Man, picking a defensive play or a turnover for Dom was difficult because, man, Dom's my guy, man. Me and Dom go back as well. Golly, man, he's got Dom. You got some of the worst turnovers that I've ever seen in my life. It's okay because you're one heck of a shooter. But golly, this right here is Dom coming off of a screen and throwing it to don't know who. Dom, first of all, you know the rule. You know the rule, right? Screen comes, solid screen. Dude goes under. You ought to dot this dude in the face. You got to hit him. And I kind of see what you were seeing right there. I see what you were seeing. The pass is way off the mark. You threw it to the middle of the floor, right? This guy's diving, right? He didn't wait on the roll. He threw it right to him. So I see what you were seeing there a little bit. Okay, but at the same time, as a shooter, shooter's mentality, screen's coming. Anytime that guy goes under the screen or gets caught up on the screen and this guy doesn't step up, like that's not stepping up. For Dom, this is not stepping up. This might look like a well-defended play to the average coach. It's not. because Dom is one of the most lethal shooters that I've ever seen in my life, right? He could have stopped and popped right there. He works on that shot a ton, right? The degree of difficulty on his shots is out of this world, right? Instead, he throws it right to the other team. Knew he turned it over. As soon as he turns it over, that dog, right? And he's going the other way. A lot of shooters that I've coached over the years, I tell them all the time that if they don't shoot the ball, that it's going the other way because they're going to end up turning it over. In this case, he didn't shoot the ball and it went the other way. All right. As I mentioned, Dom is one of the best shooters that I've ever coached, ever. And the degree of difficulty on his shots is astronomical. This is one, I'm going to play both of them. It's going to look like the exact same shot because he hit. So I'm in charge of our blobs, baseline out of bounds plays for our team. And Coach Hines runs the rest of the offense and the defense. And so this is late in the game. You know, we need a bucket. We need a three-point shot. Dom knocks this shot down. And then the very next play that you're going to see that came 5 minutes later was off of another blob that we run for Dom going to the same spot, same look, and he knocks it down. It's crazy. It almost looks like the exact same shot. But right before I called the blob, Dom looks at me and says, "I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it." And so I called his number, and dude delivered. This is a play that we run just to get some action. Go into the corner. We run a lot of stuff off of this that if Dom is not open, then we get to secondary and even tertiary options. But Dom right here, even with the defender draped all over him, contorts his body and knocks down one of the most difficult shots in a crucial part of the ball game that I've seen. I mean, the guy was there. That almost cannot be defended any better other than not letting him catch. That's the only thing that you can hope for with Dom is just to not let him catch the ball. Because if he catches the ball and has just an inch of daylight, it's going up. Dude knocks it down. All right, so you'll see here the clip's going to continue to run. It's going to be the very next clip. This is off of another play. We didn't get the whole play, but it's almost the exact same thing. But the defender's here, and they bring a second defender. And Dom is still, with his momentum, he's running from here. He came from here all the way through. And he's still able to knock that shot down. That's tough. That's real tough. All right, moving on, we got Dylan. Dylan Glover is a sophomore for us. Dylan, I got to give Dylan a lot of props. And I'll get to that kind of in the second video, but Dylan's done a good job of transforming his body and taking the weight room seriously, taking his diet seriously, and it's paid dividends on the floor for him. But here's a boneheaded mistake. He's a sophomore for us. Players, hoopers everywhere. You've heard of the terms coffin corner, right? Coffin corner, right? Any corner on the basketball floor is a coffin corner. Here, Dylan catches the ball in the coffin corner, and cardinal rule number one is to not pick the ball up in the coffin corner. Obviously, you're going to get trapped, and there's nowhere to go with the basketball. The sideline is a defender. Obviously, here you can't go back court, so the mid-court line is also a defender. So essentially, here, when Dylan catches the ball, he's got 4 defenders on him. 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders on him. So when he catches, he dribbles, and then immediately picks the ball up and puts it above his head, right? So he picks the ball up, wrong. Puts it above his head, wrong, right? We have a drill that we work on every day. Sure, you guys hate it, and you don't know why we're doing it. This is why we do it. It's an up-down drill. It's a simple up-down drill where we start with just one-on-one defender, and then we bring 2, and we do a step through, right? Right here, you should get this ball chin-it and step through both of these defenders, right? They're going to part. We also don't have anybody in the middle of the floor, right? Obviously, there's a trap here. It's a trapping situation. It's a half-court trap. and there's nobody in the middle of the floor for him to even throw the ball to. So the only place he can go is up the sideline, which is taken away, and then obviously across the court from lane C to lane A, or from lane A to lane C, however you want to look at it. And with a trap, it's got to be a lollipop pass, and that's exactly what it is. It's a lollipop that's turned over and going the other way, right? So ideally, he needs to step through right here, and also ideally, we need to have somebody else in the middle of the floor. Whoever's over here in the corner probably needs to be in the middle of the floor. Or don't pick this ball up right there, right? Keep the dribble alive, step through. Worst case scenario, use a timeout. Okay, but here, as I mentioned, it's hard to tell on film, but this dude's body is really transformed. He took the weight room seriously. He changed his diet, started eating healthy. Here it was really hard to pick a clip for him too, because he had a couple clips against Side Lakes or against Langham Creek earlier in the year that I wanted to use. But here he just does a really good job. He shows great, excellent body control. Catches the ball here on the left wing, and we're running our 41 action, which is just a screen action that we run. Right, screen comes, defender goes over the top. Okay, so he uses a separation dribble here just to get a little bit of separation, but square his body back to the basket. Right, he's in full control of his body. He's not fading. He's in complete control of his body. And knocks down a huge shot. He really came on in the second half of the district, and I think a lot of that can be attributed to his success and his work ethic in the weight room. All right, here we got Alex. Alex is a junior for us, and he was one of our beasts of the week. Doesn't get a ton of minutes. He's not going to play 30 minutes a game, but he does really, really good things with his minutes when he's in the game. He defends well. He's always in the right spots. He's a shooter for us. He's got one of the prettiest shots I've ever seen. He works on his game a ton. He's always one of the first guys in the gym. He's always one of the last guys to leave. He puts in a lot of work, and he's going to be really good for us next year as well. But here, this is late in the game at Woods. This is the worst week of our season. But Alex gets a steal, right? He comes away with a steal here, and yeah, brother, I don't know. I don't know. That's a 3-on-1. That's a 3-on-1. I remember asking him about this after the game, and I don't know what he said, because what he said didn't make sense, so I just forgot it. But yeah, but you got to take that. Go get yours, right? Just a disclosure, at this point in the game, we're down 18 at 69-51 with 3 seconds to go in the game. Yeah, you got to go get yours here, right? You got to be selfish and go get yours. Yeah, one more time. That's bad. It's all right, buddy. It's all right, buddy, because here you made up for it. Again, Alex, picking a clip for him was really tough, but I wanted to pick a clip. I picked a clip here that showed really good ball movement. Here you see Devon Castilleja here. He gets the ball, drives it baseline, and he hits our drift once again. Camden Gray. We've got two really, really good shooters over here in the corner. A really good shooter right here in the corner, and a really good shooter right here on the wing. Defender comes over, stops Day, so Day gets over here, throws the drift. We really want that pass to be a line drive pass and not really a floated pass right there. So he's got to take one more step, get past the defender, and really hit Cam with a good pass. But Cam, as he catches the ball, sees 14 here, the defender come. He has a nice little touch pass to Alex. As Alex forms a really good fence right there and hits the one more. So again, Devon drives the baseline. Cam with the touch pass to Alex. And Alex knocks it down. That's beautiful basketball right there. That's good ball. That's good ball. we moved the ball really, really well against this team. Also against Magnolia, there were a few games and against that Wall Trip team too. Where we're really sharing the basketball. All right, but last but not least, we've got another super sophomore of ours, Victor Greer. Victor, one of the best basketball IQs that I've ever been around. There are times that I'm on the bench over here, and Victor's on the complete opposite side of the floor, and I'm not yelling, and I'm saying things in my head where he should go with the basketball, and the basketball goes there. I'm saying things that he should do with the ball, and he does them. I mean, kid's got really, really good basketball IQ. He's also has spent some time playing quarterback for our football team, as you'll see here. It's kind of like he's escaped the pocket. He's rolling out to his right, tries to throw a one-handed pass, clear down the floor to Dom here. I think Dom could have made a better effort here to get both feet in bounds for a completed pass. But a lot of his passes are going one way, throwing the other. A lot of his passes last year and even this year, guys aren't ready for because they don't. I mean, he's that good with the basketball. He deceives defenses really well with his eyes, which is really, really tough to do. But he does a really good job of that. Just kind of wide of the mark right there. All right, but here, one of the best games that we've coached, one of the best games that our kids have played all season long, especially the end of the year. The end of the year, we should have ended the year on a 5-game win streak. We won 3 of our last 5. 2 of those losses were by 3 to some really good teams in our district. But here, we've got the number one. We are hosting the number 1 team in our district, Cy Park, and it was a very intense game from start to finish. But here we're in our ace look where we're, like I said, we've got guys that can handle the ball, that do really, really good things with the basketball, and they're hard to stay in front of. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. We're just spreading the defense out. We've got a baseline runner here. We've got a shooter in the corner. Can't leave the shooter, right? If this guy gets past this guy and you leave the shooter, we'll kick to the shooter. Right, if he gets past this guy is the only line, he's the last line of defense. He has to help uphill, which is what happens. Then we look to hit the lob or the baseline run, and that's exactly what happens. Victor's so quick with the ball. His first step, he's got one of the best first steps in the game, right, in our program. His first step gets this guy. So Rodney's man has to help uphill. He has no idea where he's at. He probably still thinks he's still in the corner because cardinal rule, you see man and you see ball. You see man and you see ball. He sees ball, doesn't see man. So man goes baseline and puts it on his head. All right, that was a huge, huge point in the game for us. We ended up winning this game. It was big, big time. All right, so like I said, that's kind of our next play mentality. I want to show a clip of a bonehead play, a mistake, right? But then also a clip where that same player got it back, whether it was in that same exact game or whether it was in a different game. But they made good plays. I think it's important to focus on the next play. Can't be playing the game within yourself, mind games. You got to go get it back. So I'll be looking for some more clips here later on in the week. Ain't got nothing but time. But hope you enjoyed that. Good inside look at our program, at our kids. There'll be some other things. Might get some other people in here to help me break down some stuff. Maybe some players in here to help break down some stuff. See what they saw. I put myself in their minds. But that's it. Hope y'all are practicing, safe social distancing, and hopefully we can get back to the school soon. Continue working on our game. I know we have big plans for the spring. the season didn't go exactly as according to plan like we wanted it to, but we have big plans for the spring and the summer, and hopefully we can get back to those plans so that we can go get this back, bring the running Vikings back to Brian. Um, Hope you all are taking care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. We are one.